I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Welcome to Check Please Arizona, the show where Valley residents recommend their favorite restaurants. Coming up, we have three guests that are passionate about their picks. They've dined at all three and are ready to share their reviews with each other and with you right here on Check Please Arizona. I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Welcome to Check Please Arizona. In this episode, we're enjoying Mediterranean meals, Chinese dishes, and elevated comfort food. Let's meet our diners. Sarah Yaron is a writer and professor. She's a mom of twins and loves watching TV, especially cooking shows. And she's a wizard with trivia facts. Katie Smith works in business development for ASU. She and her husband have a full house with 2 kids and a lab puppy and a cat. She escapes the chaos by doing hot yoga. But up first is Karen Lewis's pick. Karen spends her day crunching numbers as a financial analyst. She volunteers with an Alzheimer's awareness group and also sings with the choir at her work. She discovered her favorite place running errands with her sister. This is Beginner's Luck.
I would describe Beginner's Luck as me and my business partner Andrew's homage to diners. For brunch, you can find a pretty wide variety of things. The Lucky 7 cereal bowl is maybe one of the most favorite things that I've made. It's blue corn polenta, chia pudding, granola with coconut and pecans, a little agave syrup. On the dinner menu, some of the stuff rolls over, the slow roasted pork, the cubano, the burger, but then we also add little heartier dishes. Our best seller for dinner is a chopped salad. It's really awesome. The dish on the menu that best describes me is not quite a cubano. A little salty, a little spicy, a little pickled, a little cheesy. I would describe the vibe of Beginner's Luck kind of like my grandmother's kitchen. I spent a lot of time in my grandmother's house, and she was cooking constantly, and she was the best entertainer. And she would be behind the counter, making food, making everybody laugh. That's what we do here. I really love this space. I love the windows. I love the building. It just feels very cozy. I want the guests to feel super happy the whole time they're here. I want them to leave with a full belly and a big smile on their face.
So Karen, this is your place. Why do you like it?
I really like Beginner's Luck because it's tucked away in Old Town Scottsdale. There's a lot of interesting shops around. It has this really neat vibe that it's so distinct between, the main street and the touristy part of Scottsdale. It's got an extensive patio, which is very nice to enjoy with the beautiful Arizona weather.
What'd you have for an appetizer?
We had the Dole whipped wings, and it was a blend of sweet and spicy. They were very crunchy and flavorful and hot, and it came with a herb buttermilk dressing that was actually used on the chopped salad.
Oh, cool. Double down with the goodness. Double down with the goodness. And you like spicy food, right?
I do, yes.
Was it spicy?
It wasn't spicy for my taste. It was spicy for my husband's taste. So they gave me a little side of spice that I could bring it up a notch.
Yeah, it sounds like you like to bring the heat.
That's right.
Katie, what did you have for an appetizer?
So I also had the chicken wings,
Okay.
and it was delicious. What I liked about it is that there was a subtle sweetness to it with the pineapple, but it wasn't overbearing. When you hear Dole Whip, that seems like that could be really sweet. So it was perfectly sweet with the savory from the miso in the sauce as well. I also love heat, so I could have used way hotter, but I think it was great, especially because we were there with friends and everyone was able to enjoy them. And then my son took them and finished them off.
So Sarah, you didn't have an appetizer. What did you have for an entree?
For an entree, I had to go with the classic chopped salad. They were really great about customizing it. I don't eat gluten, so I couldn't have the couscous, and I didn't eat the salmon, but I was able to I asked for extra Asiago cheese, and they gave me some extra Asiago cheese. It doesn't look like like it would be super filling, but it is. But I did save room also to get home fries on the side
Oh.
because, like, they have the girl dinner, which is a Caesar salad and French fries, and this was my variation of it. And the home fries were okay. They left a little to be desired because I desire peppers and onions in my home fries. Like, I like it to have a little spice and be like a little jazzed up. And they were just kind of little square potatoes. I ate them all,
Yeah.
but I just like a little extra.
So Karen, what'd you have for an entree?
We also had the original chopped salad. My husband and I decided to split dishes. And so we had the chopped salad, and then we had the not quite a cubano. And it was slow roasted pork with pimento and pickles on a crunchy roll.
Nice. Oh, well, it sounds really delicious. That is not quite a Cubano because the pimento cheese is super unusual.
The pickles and the pimento were not overbearing.
Cool.
I think to add to the crunch, they add the chicharrones to the
Yes.
sandwich as well to give it that extra crunch.
That's the best. Chicharrones can be on anything for me. Thank you very much. I'll just get the chicharron. Katie, do you have an entree?
Yeah, so I was there for happy hour and genuinely so impressed with their happy hour. I think it's hard to find anywhere that has $13 hamburger. The burger was cooked perfectly. It had grilled pineapple, so it paired well with the Dole Whip wings, and then a chipotle aioli. So it's just very flavorful. Really, I mean, it was one of those burgers, super juicy, falls apart in your mouth. I absolutely enjoyed it. So my husband and I split that. And then my daughter got the mac and cheese, and it actually had potato chips on top. So that,
Crunchy potato
oh my
chips on
gosh,
top
it
of mac and
was. It
cheese.
was creamy, crunchy, delicious. She absolutely loved them.
That's really awesome. Desserts, sweets?
We had the bread pudding,
Oh, yes, that's right. You
blueberry,
did.
yeah, the blueberry with the vanilla ice cream, and it was really tasty and warm. And we probably could have used a little more ice cream, just because it melts all over the bread pudding. And
But Karen, when is there enough ice cream? I mean, let's be honest, right?
it was a good portion for two. It
That's
was,
good.
yeah, it was delicious.
That's awesome. So he's known for his mixology and cocktail programs, or they are this group, and they're wonderful. Drinks, Katie.
Yeah, so that was really the standout. We were there with friends, and of course, for science, we tried all of the happy hour beverages,
Very good.
and
Ah.
as we should.
Analytical mind. Yes, I love that.
And all of them were amazing. They were very unique. I had the Carajillo drink, which was a tequila, coffee, and orange liqueur drink. And it was very much reminiscent of an espresso martini, which I love with tequila,
Yeah.
but it was elevated. And the orange in there was amazing.
Yeah.
So it was so well done. That was definitely the standout. I all kind of tried each other's drinks, and that was voted by far the best one out of everyone's.
Cool.
And then I also had the Paloma with
Oh,
mezcal.
I love Palomas.
I do too, and I love the
Especially with
smoky
mezcal.
mezcal. It was
Yeah.
perfectly paired. So yeah, just I would recommend to everyone.
Sounds like
Go there
you're
for
an
happy
agave-
hour.
You like agave-based spirits.
Yes, absolutely.
Me too. Wonderful. Sarah.
I had the champagne with sorbet because it was breakfast, so you have to have a little. It was like a mimosa, but without the orange juice, and
Yeah.
it just had a little sorbet, which added
cool.
the right amount of sweetness.
Also keeps it really cold.
Yes, it
really
does.
smart.
It was
Wait a
very
second.
refreshing.
That's
Yes.
really- I
You're
love
like-
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that one.
I also had the Paloma, and instead of the mezcal, I did the silver tequila.
Okay.
I'm not a big smoky flavor fan, but I like that the wait staff explained the difference to
Yeah.
me before I put in the order, which I appreciated. And it was very reasonable. It was on the happy hour they called the lucky hour.
I love that. Karen, your place, pro tips, one thing you want the viewers to know.
I'd say go early and try the lucky hour.
All right. Lucky hour it is. Katie?
I completely agree. I will be going back there for lucky hour.
Okay. Sarah.
I didn't go for lucky hour, but now I want to.
Okay.
I think that my tip would be to go when it's really nice out. The inside, if you're going to go at night, make reservations because the inside's pretty tight. Like it's
Yes.
not that
Oh.
large. But if you're going during a beautiful day or evening, sit outside.
So grab the patio on a beautiful day. If you want to try Beginner's Luck, they're located in Old Town Scottsdale on Main Street, just west of Brown. An average meal costs $29, and they do take reservations. Now to Katie's spot. Her son was going through a dumpling phase, so they hopped on the internet and found this gem. Located inside the Macon Plaza, this is Happy Bows.
Happy Bao's is a handmade noodle, handmade dumpling, and handmade bao restaurant. We have a mixture of Northern and Chinese cuisine here. The literal translation for a bao is a bun. The bao is handmade, kneaded on the dough, and then we fill it up with different types of filling. We have chicken, pork, beef, and vegetable. After you let it sit for like 30 minutes or so, then we steam it. After we steam it, then we fry it. Our most popular bao here is definitely our pork xiaolong bao, which is the soup dumpling. Inside of the pork xiaolong bao, we have pork meat, green onion, and chicken broth. The proper way to eat it is, you pop it and you drink the soup first and then you eat it. All the guests love that. If you've never been here before, how would you order is I would stick to the very basics. I have a page on our menu that says house favorites. The staff is very helpful. They describe to you inside of every dish. I actually require during my training program that my staff learn the menu 100%. What I want my guest experience to be is to feel when they come into Happy Bao's, they feel some culture, they learn about our food. I have a motto or a slogan here, Happy Bao's, Happy Mouths. So as long as they leave feeling happy and satisfied, remembering something or learning something new, then I'm happy.
So Katie, your son brought you here, but it's an appetizer that brings you back. What is that?
Really happenstance that we found this amazing place. Chinese food is really simple, especially dumplings and wontons, and they just do it so well there.
Yeah.
Very simple flavors, but we love the spicy chili wontons. I will forever say that would be my last meal if I had to have one.
That's huge.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's cool.
Yes, they are tender. The pork and shrimp combination is so flavorful. And then the sauce itself is super spicy. So if you like spice, I love spice. I actually get extra sauce, but I know some people maybe even like it on the side. But then the green onion and cilantro in there as well, just all those flavors together. It's just one of the most flavorful wonton dishes that I've ever had. And it's by far the best.
And you like heat,
I
Karen.
do.
So,
Spicy.
did you get a little heat there?
I did. We had the honey sauce ribs, and they were very good. They were fall off the bone type of ribs. We used our fingers. We didn't even hesitate to pick them up with our hands. And like Katie said, they had cilantro and green onion, and it just brought out the flavor. I did add some extra spice to mine. My husband was good with the spice level on the ribs, but I added that little extra heat, and they were just very, very tasty.
I had this noodle dish there that had like 70 chilies in it, and and I like spice. That was spicy. Next time you got to get that. We'll talk later. Sarah.
I'm on like the cool and refreshing end for my appetizer. I had the smashed cucumber salad. I don't know if it's called the smashed cucumbers, but they're literally like
Yes.
smashed cucumbers. And I was wondering, why did they smash them? And then I realized because the dressing, which was just very light and beautiful, like seeps into all the little crevices of the
Yes.
smash. And it was really, really great and refreshing. I know that you two love your spice, but I feel like this would be a good counterbalance, especially for your husband to have a good cool down.
I agree
for
with
an
it. It was
appetizer, too.
delicious. What'd you have for an entree, Sarah?
Oh, for an entree, I had the vegetable stir-fried rice noodles, which sound very simple, but they were anything but. They were very light as well. Sometimes with like noodle dishes get like greasy. This was just like light, and they gave me a whole big oval
Giant.
size.
Yeah.
I ate the whole thing. I was like, the
Oh my gosh.
vegetables were crunchy. I was aggressively eating it, but it was so, so delicious. I loved that it wasn't like abrasive in spice, but it did have a little something.
That's
a little
cool.
something.
Well,
Yeah.
Sarah, it's really interesting because noodles, especially rice noodles and udon, they eat up a lot of flavor. So when you're saying that's flavorful, which is true of everything there, it's kind of a great culinary win, to
Ooh,
make it flavorful
yes.
because it eats up flavor over time.
Okay.
Katie.
So what I love about Happy Bao is that it's very family style. The portions are really large, and we like to order a lot of different dishes and share them all together. I ordered the Dan Dan noodles, which was wonderful. I mean, the noodles taste homemade, and they have a minced meat on top that is super flavorful, and peanuts in there, which we also then got a lamb soup as well. And the broth had a very lamb forward flavor, but then it also had kind of a creaminess from like a peanut butter
Mhm.
as well. So those two paired really, really well
That
together.
sounds interesting. So Karen, what'd you have for an entree?
My husband and I opted for one of their signature dishes on the menu, which was the beef chow fun. And it's a flat noodle and it's handmade at the restaurant and it has a smoky flavor to it, which I asked the waitress how they got the smoky flavor. And she said that part of that is when they cook it in the wok. There was beef that I wish there was a little more beef,
Mhm.
but it was very rich in flavor and it wasn't too spicy, but I added some more spice to enrich the flavors of all of the beef and
Did you get one of
noodles
those
together.
dishes of that red sauce? that they had?
Yes,
That was,
yes,
and was it
yeah.
spicy enough?
Yeah, that was. We're
So
adding
you're
that
like,
in.
yeah, sort of
It's
whatever. For me, my head's blowing off of that thing. I was shredding, spitzing.
I can see why it's a signature dish. It's very tasty, and like I said, the noodles were homemade in their restaurant.
Wonderful. Well, this place has a vibe. It's in the Mekong Plaza, so we just need to describe, in your words, what do you think of this vibe, and how would you describe it?
When you walk in, there's so many places to take in. There are ramen and hot pot, Thai, boba. So it's a little bit of everything. Happy Bao for me is the standout. But if you have time, there's a lot to look at then as well around the
And
shopping
shopping
area.
too. It's
Yes,
crazy.
it's
Absolutely.
a dangerous place
Dangerous
to take your
place.
kids
That's
because
right.
I was looking across and they have all the cute little flying things and the little stuffed animals, and I was like, oh goodness, if I bring my kids back here, this is going to be a very expensive dinner.
Yes.
What do you think, Karen?
Very casual atmosphere. It does have the decor that you would see in an Asian restaurant. I like that.
Awesome. Katie, you had a dessert.
Yes. So next to the spicy chili wontons, the custard baos are our favorite. They are super light and fluffy, and inside is a custard that's not too sweet, so it's not overbearing. We usually end up splitting them because they're so filling, but you get 4, and they are the wonderful way to end the dinner with.
Okay, now's the time for pro tips. Katie, this is your place.
Get there early, come hungry, and definitely share with friends and family. All of their dishes are really unique, and it's great to be able to try a little bit of everything. They're also huge, so you end up being very full and have room for leftovers.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Karen?
My pro tip would be if you have young children to use the kiosk. I think they would really enjoy trying that and having fun at that.
Sarah?
I think I have 2. My first would be that they have dumplings. I noticed that they have it on the wall that they have dumplings to go, which I like, or frozen dumplings, which I thought would be really good for like catering and events. And then my second is to utilize the menus because they have beautiful pictures on the menus. And then you can kind of understand what you're getting if you're not as literate in Chinese food as I wish I was.
If you want to try Happy Bao's, it's located inside the Mekong Plaza in Mason, Dobson, and Maine. An average meal will cost you about $25, and they do not take reservations. Our last pick is Sarah's. She discovered her must-eat-at spot while taking her daughter to a theater class, a family-run business loaded with Mediterranean flavors. This is Casa de Falafel.
Casa de Falafel is a family-owned Mediterranean restaurant where we have the best quality food and the best falafels that you'll ever have. Our falafels are in a ring shape. I think people call it a donut shape usually. It looks pretty, but that's not all why we make it in a ring shape. No matter how much you try to cook a falafel ball, in the middle, in the core, there's always gonna be dough. It's gonna smell like dough, it's gonna taste like dough. So the reason why we do it in a donut shape, it's because everything on the outside would be crispy and everything inside would be fully cooked and very, very mushy. So that's why it's just fully cooked and it looks nicer. Our lentil soup started about 10 years ago, the family recipe. Usually lentil soups are a little bit chunkier, but we actually made a machine that once we pour it into it, once it comes out of the machine, it becomes very, very creamy. We decided to start giving it with every single entree. So if you get a falafel sandwich, chicken shawarma sandwich, no matter what you get, you'll get a lentil soup on the side. We have wholesale lentil soup, our falafel rings, frozen falafel rings, and falafel mixes. So all those can be bought at Casa de Falafel here as well. We started in a gas station actually. So they called us the hidden gem for a while. It was actually my mom and dad that ran the gas station for about 2-3 years alone. 2020 is when we actually left the gas station and came to another location, a bigger location. Being a family business, when you come in, we treat everyone like a family here. The guest experience, whenever they come through the door, it's basically just for them to be satisfied. That's our number one thing. And then as soon as they leave, they're just excited to come back.
So Sarah, you found this cool place. It's a great story. Tell us about it.
Yeah, my daughter does theater, and she was in a production of Les Miserables at Spotlight Youth Theater, and I was anything but miserable because I got to go to Casa de Falafel. I was looking for something that my son and I could both enjoy, and they have French fries and chicken shawarma, so he was golden. I wanted something a little healthier and lighter than, fast food, but so I went to Casa de Falafel.
We'll start with appetizers. What we start with?
Well, I always start with hummus. They have the most delectable hummus. It's light, it's not too oily. They put olives on top. I'm joyful when I'm eating it. They give everybody with your meal a little cup of lentil soup, and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's such a little cup. But it's enough because it's really rich and
And
luxurious.
it comes with everything.
It does.
Yeah.
And they use like an immersion blender to make it feel frothy and creamy, even though it's vegan.
Wow.
And I just highly recommend it. And you can enjoy it as your appetizer.
Great place to start.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Katie.
Yes. I mean, the hummus was my daughter's entire meal and she ate it all up and it was super filling. It comes with 2 pitas, but can absolutely share it with the whole table. I also had the tabbouleh and the tabbouleh was so fresh, super flavorful, super crunchy too. I love when the parsley, you can tell it was like super fresh. It was delicious.
So Karen, what'd you have for apps?
We had the falafel tower, the ring tower, and I am not a huge falafel fan, but I had to try it because of the name of the restaurant, and I'm so glad we did because Fridays they do falafel Friday, and it's a discount, a small discount, and it's just a cute little ring that they bring out, and they're donut shaped and they're light and fluffy, and I think I realized why I don't like falafel
Because they were
because
done right.
correct, they were done right. They were very, very tasty.
Awesome. Any entrees?
We had the chicken pita,
Yeah.
and it was very juicy. I actually got some on my shirt by accident. That's how juicy it was. It
That's
came.
a sign of a good time.
It
Yes.
was, yes. We had the lentil soup, and I asked somebody in the restaurant about the lentil soup because I'm like, what is this? At first, I didn't realize that it was lentil soup because I do not normally like lentil soup, but this was just amazing. Somebody said it was like liquid gold, and they were not joking.
I
It
love that.
it was
That is
really,
awesome.
really good.
Katie?
So I had the falafel as well, and I do. It's so done right because I feel like traditional falafel is really dense and sometimes can be a little bit dry. This was super light, fluffy because of the donut shape. It's cooked evenly and it has this amazing crunch and the za'atar seasoning on it. It's so flavorful that I didn't even need the sauce, which was crazy because I'm usually a sauce person, especially with falafel, but it was delicious. And then my husband had the beef shawarma wrap, and that was also amazing because the meat was so tender, so flavorful, and the hot sauce was perfect. And yes, we loved it. We'll definitely be back.
My entree, I always get the Eastern salad is what it's called. It has olives and spiced onions and cucumbers and pickles. And that's all just a vessel for me to get the cilantro, tahini, and balsamic vinaigrette into my face. I mix the dressings together because it gives it a really nice creamy balsamic cilantro
That's a
vibe.
good-
And it's delicious. So I enjoy that. And sometimes I'll even dip my hummus in with it and I make it a whole exciting situation there. And my son gets the kids chicken shawarma with French fries, and the French fries are like twice fried and absolutely
Ooh,
perfect.
I love crispy French fries.
Yeah,
That's
so
the best.
I would highly recommend them
Yeah.
because I steal them and dip them in my hummus.
That is awesome. So Sarah, what'd you have for dessert?
Oh, they have amazing baklava. It comes in these little bite-sized pieces. It's very moist and decadent, but not too heavy.
Nice. And Karen, what'd you have for dessert?
We had the same thing, the baklava. I really liked how they came in the little bite-sized portions, so you could
Just enough, right?
just enough, exactly.
Because it can be a little rich, or a little heavy, right? A lot of sweetness and nuts and
Yep,
craziness.
it was just the perfect touch of nuts and honey, and it was very tasty.
Well, pro tips now. It's your place, Sarah.
Oh, I have so many pro tips.
Oh, we just picked the best one.
Yes. Well, really check out their merchandise because they have dried soup packets that you can bring home and make their liquid gold soup at home,
Oh.
which I do like 3 times a week
Oh,
when
that's
I'm not in Glendale. When I'm in Glendale, I'm eating there. But when I'm at home, I'll have it 3 times a week. Yeah.
Good tip. Katie.
This restaurant is right next to ASU's West Valley campus. So just for if you're ever out there in that area, you need a quick lunch, stopping in there. The prices are also really reasonable too for the amount of food that you get.
I agree with they were not break the bank, and it's supporting a family business. They work very hard. I saw the owner when I was there. He smiled at me. You know, I really like that personal touch.
Yeah, that's excellent. Great pro tip. If you want to try Casa de Falafel, it's located near 51st Avenue in Thunderbird in Glendale. An average meal is about $14 and they do not take reservations. I want to thank Karen, Katie, and Sarah for joining me at the table. And thank you for joining us on Check Please Arizona. If you'd like to share your favorite restaurant, head to our website, azpbs.org/checkplease, and nominate your must-eat at spot. Who knows, you could be joining me at the table. And be a part of the foodie conversation in Arizona on Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag CheckPleaseAZ. Join us next time when 3 new guests make their recommendations right here on Check Please Arizona. I'm Chef Mark Charbel. Have a delicious life.
Check Please Arizona is supported by